I'm State Representative Tom Stevenson. I'm here in the municipality of Mount Lebanon at their brand new renovated library. The existing library was closed for several years while it was basically doubled in size, and approximately $4.4 million have been put into renovations, which over the next half hour you will see, and you will intimately get to know the Mount Lebanon Library on a personal basis, hopefully. I'm here with the new library director, Cynthia Ritchie, who's going to be our host and our tour guide for this show. Cynthia, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes,
I'm
thanks.
so pleased that you could come.
Well, I'm glad to be doing this. First off, the program's basically going to be just going around the library and explaining to folks what is what.
Right.
Now, we're standing at the entrance doors here, and I see these blocks in the ground. Could you tell us a little bit about what these blocks are?
Well, this is one of our capital campaign components. This library, as you know, cost $4.4 million. More than $1 million was raised from community residents. And one of the ways we raised money was to sell bricks. And people could honor loved family members. They could be proud of their school. Whatever they wanted to put on the brick is what they did. And so we sold bricks.
Okay.
We also had other campaigns. We had a named opportunity campaign. People could designate sections of the library. They could designate a bookshelf or a study carrel. And we accepted money for those things. We had an American Girls fashion show. We had an art auction. Even a little girl sold lemonade all summer long, and at the end of the summer donated the proceeds to us. So we had all kinds of wonderful support from this community.
Right. I know my daughter's, when she was in grade school, her grade school raised money for the library
right.
expansion. And I think all the grade schools did.
They did. They all had readathons. It was wonderful.
Total community effort. Now, we're in the entranceway, and to our right are pictures that basically I've had given to me by the Speaker of the House of Representatives in Pennsylvania, Matthew Ryan. And these photos are pictures of the state capitol. And maybe we can get a shot of those as we walk down into the main library.
That'd be wonderful. It's a glorious building, and we were so pleased to have these for opening day, because one of the other benefits we received in building this library was legislative grant. Several legislative grants, and we also received an LSCA grant for $250,000. It was administered by the State Library of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So we were pleased to have the Harrisburg connection here for opening day.
Well, I can tell you that we've told the Speaker's office that this is glorious, and we're going to show them pictures. So maybe
good.
we'll get more pictures in next year to
great.
hang up.
That'd be nice.
Good.
We're also going to use this gallery later for community displays.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that want to display their artwork. We'll have children's art during the Week of the Young Child and things like that. So it'll be a wonderful community library. This was a wonderful community effort. The community in Mount Lebanon truly values its library. We found that there were 3 underserved groups in Mount Lebanon that we wanted to improve services to. And so one of the reasons we got the new library was to provide services to those 3 groups. The first were people with disabilities. So you'll see that this library is completely accessible to them. The aisles are wide. We have an elevator. We have a lower part of the desk. We have computer carrels and study carrels at wheelchair height. We also have some assistive devices for people with visual impairments, and we're going to use some of the money that is coming from our second brick campaign for an infrared system that will enable people with hearing impairments to participate in programs that the library has, programs, lectures, and things like that. So that's one group. And in the 3 weeks that we've been open, we've seen more people in wheelchairs here than we ever saw in the old library all the years that it was open.
Working.
It really is working.
Yeah,
it's
the
fabulous.
word's getting around. One of the other things beside the wide aisles is just the airiness, the light that comes into this library.
That's right.
Hopefully that was planned from the very beginning.
It was planned. We wanted to use the natural light. We have a clear story in our reading area, so they have natural light there. And we also wanted to have a lot of artificial light because, as you know, Pittsburgh has its share of gloomy days.
Right.
And winter, and we're open in the evenings, so that we needed to have all kinds of light. We did make the light less bright around the computers because you don't want bright light or sunlight, certainly on the computer screens. But for reading, this is a perfect environment. And that makes me think about one of our second groups that we want to work with, and that is the elderly. Mount Lebanon, as most of Allegheny County, has a large elderly population, and we wanted it to be an inviting library for them. It's accessible for them, it's bright, they can see, many of them have visual impairments. We have a collection of large print books that they use, and one of the best architectural features, I think, are these two big bay windows, and the older people come here often just for social life. Sometimes they meet friends, sometimes they just like being around people while they read magazines.
Why don't we walk over there and
I'd love to show you.
show our audience that aspect of the library?
These are two of the community's favorite areas. This is our magazine and newspaper area, and you can see the beautiful bay window with the gorgeous view of Southminster across the street, and this bay window with the gorgeous view of Mellon Middle School construction.
Right, right.
But this is where a lot of the older people in Mount Lebanon gather. They gather for social life, they love being around people, or they meet their friends here. And actually people of all ages like this area as well. We have almost 300 magazines and periodicals that we subscribe to. And it's a wonderful way for people to relax or read for knowledge. And it's a wonderful environment. You can also see some samples of artwork. The community loved this library so much and wanted it to look great that we had a lot of art donated permanently. Some is on loan, but we have all kinds of art that many patrons donated and paid for the framing as well.
At the grand opening that I attended, this was the room that I heard the most positive comments about.
That's right. It's everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
And it's a dramatic impact when you walk down that corridor and you see this big area, this wonderful reading area.
Right.
Mount Lebanon truly values books and reading, and I think that's one reason they're so proud of this library. All the work that they expended to raise the money to build this library has paid off. Well, this is our main reading area in the adult library. We have nearly 128,000 items in this library. And we also have computers. We have 49 public access computers. We dispensed with the card catalog in 1995, as did many libraries. And our catalog is an online catalog.
Wow.
We joined the Electronic Information Network in February of '97. And through that, we have access to our catalog, the catalogs of other libraries in Allegheny County, online databases such as contemporary authors or Encyclopedia Britannica or business resources, and access to the internet. So people can use these computers for everything, from entertainment to information. People working on PhD dissertations can come in and use this. A lot of people have had trouble getting away from the card catalog, but it is so much easier.
That's what I was going to ask.
That's
How's the
right.
transition been?
It's been fine because we used these computers in our old library for a couple of years, and also in the new library, or the temporary library, for a couple of years. Many people are used to them. A lot of kids learn computers from the time they're very small, like that little girl, and they're very comfortable with them. We found that some of the people are reluctant to use it. They're afraid they're going to break it. So we're offering computer classes to everybody. It can be one-on-one, or it can be a small group, a demonstration.
I'm going to have to join you.
We'll welcome you.
I need help in that area.
Oh, it's easy.
Well, if you could show us this area of the library, that'd be great.
I'd be happy to do that. One of our most popular displays is the notable and award-winning books, which we have here. This library has so much space for expansion. We have a lot of space for displays, as you can see. But look at the mystery section. It's already almost full because people in Mount Lebanon love mystery, so we buy a lot of
Well, that's
mysteries.
interesting.
It really is great. One of the great uses of space in this library is the fact that we have big reading areas, big open reading areas where many people can gather or groups can study at a table. We also have private areas where people who want to read alone or feel a little sense of isolation can do that. We have window seats built into these bay windows, and we have individual study carrels. We also have some quiet study rooms that we'll see in a minute, so that people can work on a dissertation if they want to, or tutor one-on-one. We have a lot of English as a second language students in Mount Lebanon, and a lot of people use those study rooms for tutoring.
Wow.
It's
That's-
amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of different uses a library can be put to when you think about it.
Absolutely. It's
Right.
amazing. We consider ourselves a force in the community.
Now, I noticed you have more computers back in the reference part of the library. What are these used for?
Well, they're used for the same thing. We have a lot of computers that have the databases, the catalogs, and the internet. We also have multimedia computers and CD-ROM capability. So we have encyclopedias and other educational tools that people can use multimedia. And we also have back here a demonstration site for a cable modem. That's just temporary for the summer. But ours are on a T1 cable, which is pretty fast. And so a lot of people are commenting on the fact that it's much faster than at home.
Right.
It's a little different from a telephone line. This is our reference section. One of the best things we do is provide reference to residents of Mount Lebanon and also other people in Allegheny County. We have a fabulous reference staff. And that's why we have a reference desk that's this big. We have a lot of material for ready reference here, and of course we use the computer a lot to augment our traditional sources. We have a reference section that expands about the last third of this library. It's enormous. We also have a local history section and a genealogy section. Our local history is primarily Mount Lebanon and Allegheny County. If anybody wants local history from farther out, they tend to go to the source. But we have a lot of people from around the state, even West Virginia and Ohio, that come here to research Mount Lebanon history.
Now, can residents from other communities in Allegheny County borrow books out of the library?
Yes, they can. They can through two programs. One is Access Pennsylvania, which is a state program that reimburses libraries for circulating materials to residents outside their communities, and that's funded with state tax dollars. And the other is Allegheny County, and that's funded by the Regional Asset District. They consider libraries regional assets, and libraries circulate books and provide services to people outside of their own tax base area. So we have people coming from all over the South Hills and parts of the city.
Do other libraries participate in this and loan you books and you can loan
absolutely.
them books?
It's wonderful. We have so many books that either are out here because our population reads so much that they're often out, that they can get from other libraries that are little used. And then people can come and borrow a book, maybe a nonfiction work, and we're the only person or only library in the South Hills that has borrowed that, purchased it, and they can borrow it from us. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful reciprocal arrangement, and it's funded through Regional Asset District. So any library that receives RAD funds is required to participate that way. So it's been wonderful for us, wonderful for our residents.
Cynthia, this is an interesting looking machine. Could you tell our audience about it?
It's called an Optilec. It's one of several readers that help people with visual impairments read materials. And as I mentioned to you, we have a large elderly population, many of whom suffer from various visual impairments. Macular degeneration is one of them. And this enables them to read materials. We also, in our commitment to providing services for people with disabilities of all ages, have decided that this would be a good thing. This can be used as a reader. As you can see, we can use our 20-inch monitor to run letters across so that the people can actually read a whole sentence.
Yes,
and you can also use it to enlarge what's on the computer as well.
I don't know if the audience can see the small print of that book, but I know they can see the large print on the screen. And it really it has to be wonderful for people that have sight problems.
That's right. It's very liberating. And this kind of machinery is prohibitively expensive. This combination is probably about $5,000. So most people with visual impairments can't have this in their homes.
Right.
So it's a wonderful service for the library to provide. And it can make it as big as you want. These are some of the private study areas. These are study carrels. You can see this has an internet catalog and database computer from the EIN, and it also has one of our CD-ROM computers. And along the wall is one of the pieces of artwork I was telling you about. This is computer-generated art, so it seemed perfect to install it in one of our study carrels that had computers in it.
Yeah, you'd never be able to tell. It looks like a picture.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it opens up these rooms. These rooms can be used for computer use. The counters are wide enough that people can also use them just to write a report or read a newspaper. So they're multi-use, which is wonderful. We tried to make a lot of areas in this library multi-use. And I'll show you the private study rooms now.
Okay.
Those are very nice. Okay, these are the study rooms. These were donated by residents of Mount Lebanon, paid for by residents of Mount Lebanon. And you can see they're private rooms that look out over what will eventually become a courtyard, an outdoor courtyard. And people can use these for individual study. We have a lot of people studying for exams, finals, college students come in and use them. They can be used for small meetings. Sometimes high school kids get together, they have a group project to do. They can come in and reserve one of these study rooms. So it's fabulous. So it's another indication of the kind of space that we have in the library. Private, quiet space, and also the expansive space. And this is our young adult area. One of the other underserved populations we wanted to target were the teenagers in Mount Lebanon. And of course we gave them the best furniture. They have the only sofa. And all of their books are behind you. The fiction books, the nonfiction books. We have magazines for teenagers. We have career opportunity books. We have plays. And we have programs for them too. We have an author of young adult books visiting here on Saturday afternoon. We have a teen reading club. Things that are just for teens are something that's new to this library. We hadn't had space before to do any of these things, and we didn't have enough staff. We've hired one of our reference librarians who is young adult expert. She had been head of the young adult department at the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, and she's come with a lot of good ideas for book lists and programs and ways to get teenagers using the library more.
Sound okay? Your friend Kate. Well, that sounds like a good one, huh? You know that story.
Okay.
Well, this is our children's library. Mount Lebanon has long supported children's services, and we've had a very strong program for a number of years. This library serves from birth through 8th grades, and also parents and teachers who are involved with children. And we wanted to have a space that was good for that wide age range. So we have separate areas for preschoolers that you'll see in a minute. We also have separate areas for the older children. We didn't want them walking in and thinking that they were in babyland. So we have some separate study carrels for them over there. And we have this reference area, this reading area here. We also have the new books area, the magazine area. This is fiction for children. And they have computers. They also have the multimedia computers and the computers that have the catalogs, databases, and access to the internet.
This looks like about 6 to 8 times bigger than the old children's library. Is that approximately how much larger it is?
It is. It really is. It's just wonderful. We found when we were doing research for the new library that the children's activities were about half of the library activity. And so we decided that it was important to maintain that and to provide a space so all those services could take place in this library. We have a lot of books for all ages. We have CD-ROMs, audio cassettes, video cassettes. And we also have a separate room for stories. We do a lot of story times, 350 children's programs a year.
I hope you're going to show us that room.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
It's my favorite space. I also want to show you another favorite space. This is the preschool area. We have books for toddlers and then books for children who are 5 or 6. We have these wonderful little reading seats. They can climb up there and be cozy. And we have some of the children's favorite characters.
Yeah, right.
come to 3 dimensions.
Wow, stuffed characters.
And they love to play with those. We also have puppets that the children can play with. But this is a heavily used area. It's very important for children to start reading early. It's important for parents to read to them as soon as they're born. It's been studied over and over again, and librarians know that the children who are read to from an early age are more successful readers and learners later in life. Not only are they better readers, they're better thinkers, because reading helps them learn how to take disparate thoughts and synthesize them. And then when they've read English, read the tune and cadence of English or whatever their native language is, they're better writers too. And those are 2 skills that are important in success in life. It's found that the children who are National Merit Scholars, about 60% of them were firstborn children who were read to, and those children who score the highest on the verbal portion of the SAT, and that portion is considered the best indicator of success in college, those children with the highest verbal scores on the SAT were children who were read to from an early age. So it's crucial for parents to do this. So one of our missions is not only to provide a facility like this, but also to go out into the community and persuade parents that this is important. So we visit nursery schools and daycare centers and try to reach a lot of parents who would not otherwise know about the wonderful library that they have here in this community.
Can you count them? There's 1,
Right, this is the Storytime Room. This is one of my favorite places because of what it represents. It represents bringing books and children together. We also have parents attend story times because we know it's important for parents to serve as models. Parents need to know how to read to children. Parents need to let themselves be seen, enjoying books and reading themselves too, so that their children know that it's valuable. One of the most important things that parents can do to encourage boys to read is to have the fathers or other men in the boys' lives read, so that boys see that it is a man thing to do, a man thing to read. Male teachers should read to boys as well. So one of the things we like to do in this room is to bring parents, both kinds of parents, grandparents, and teachers together with the children so that they can enjoy stories. You can see banners hanging on the walls here, and these are from all of the elementary schools in Mount Lebanon. And we asked them to do that because we wanted something zippy for the room. And also we wanted to say thanks for all the support they've given us. The school district has been cooperating with the Mount Lebanon Library for a long, long time. And it's a wonderful symbiotic relationship. We provide curricular support for them, and they help advertise programs. They let us come into the schools to talk about books and to talk about summer reading clubs.
I noticed that your seating is rather unusual. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Right. These are fabulous little benches. They're molded wood, they're birch, and they can link. They're called Kinder Link. You can put them together like this and have a semicircle. You can make a complete circle. They're strong enough to hold an adult your size,
Right.
and yet short enough to accommodate a child. And we loved the colors too. But we knew that all people could not sit there. The pregnant moms and the grandparents have trouble, so we got some adult chairs for them.
How many kids do you have in your summer reading program?
We have had as many as 1,500 in the past. We've been open about 3 weeks, and we already have over 700 signed
Wow.
up for the older children's program, and for the Read to Me, which is for preschoolers to listen to books read by adults in their lives. We have almost 300. So we have about 1,000 children participating this summer.
That's wonderful.
It's
It
fabulous.
really is.
Makes a big difference in their lives. Studies have proven that boys and girls who participate in reading clubs in the summer are better readers and better students in the fall than boys and girls who have not participated in reading clubs. And sometimes kids improve their reading levels by 1 or 2 level over the summer rather than stagnating or
Right.
sliding back, which often happens. So it's very beneficial. Well, Tom, this is our meeting room, and it's wonderful. In the old library, we had just one small meeting room. Now we have a large meeting room, and we have a smaller conference room that I'll show you in a minute. And this is where we have all kinds of programs. We have lecture series, we have authors that come and talk, we have book reviews, we have story programs for families. We had one last night with a puppet show and participatory activities. Community groups can use this also. All right, and this is the conference room. This is where the board meets, the friends of the libraries meet, and small meetings can take place. During our grand opening celebration, we had Rena Ferrarelli, a local poet, read here. We had Sam Hazo read in the larger meeting room. So it's a multi-use room. We're also going to use it for our annual book sale. We're going to have the book sale in the large meeting room, the small meeting room, and the outside corridor. And you can see people have already begun bringing books to us for our book sale. It's one of the Friends of the Library activities that creates a lot of revenue for us to use for.
Well, while we're talking about revenue, how exactly is the library funded for their day-to-day operations?
It's funded primarily by the municipality. We receive almost all of our support from them. We receive nearly $700,000 from the municipality for our operating budget. We also receive money from the state. We receive, and that's your tax dollars, we receive about $58,000. We receive money from fines and copy machine receipts and some miscellaneous items, sale of book bags, for instance. And then we receive money from the Regional Asset District. Now, for the last 3 years, that money has gone into the capital campaign, into this building. But next year, it will go into our operating budget. And next year, we expect to receive approximately $220,000. So that will help considerably.
How much revenue makes up the budget in any given year? What's your anticipated revenue?
Well, we're expecting to receive next year close to $1 million, counting all sources, grants, fine receipts, state, county, and local funding. Well, Tom, this is what I consider the heartbeat of the library. This is the work area. This is where staff works for acquisitions. All of the books come in here. All of the supplies come in here. The books are cataloged over there. They're processed and ready to go out on the shelves back here. All of the financial activity takes place here. The bills are paid. The development opportunities are tracked. And all of the periodicals management takes place here as well. And my office is over there too. That's the room. You always have a room in a house where you put junk before you have a
Right.
party. That's the room. Right. Well, this is where the cataloging takes place. We acquired in the last 18 months over 7,000 new books. And that was while we were trying to move into this library as well. So we think in the next 18 months we'll acquire even more. And this also is where we do our public relations. We do all of our publicity ourselves. We also print all of our activity calendars, book lists, bibliographies, all of the things that help people use the collection, help people use the library. We do them ourselves, and we do them down here on our computers and at desks like these.
Do you have any idea how many books you have in the library?
We have, I think, about 114,000 books.
Wow. And what's your
More than
daily
that.
circulation and maybe yearly circulation?
Well, the annual circulation, the last year in the old library was nearly 390,000 items. Last year in our temporary library, which you remember was a renovated gas station, we had 50,000 books with us, and we circulated more than 220,000 items. That's a lot
That's
of
astounding.
turnover.
Yes.
It really is
Yeah.
astounding.
And to keep track of everything
That's right.
out of a small operation that you were in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And since we've been open here, it's been about 3 weeks, we've circulated anywhere from 1,800 to 2,600 books
On a daily
day.
basis? A day?
A day.
Wow, that's what I
A
was going to
day.
ask you.
We're very busy. If we
Yes.
keep this pace, we'll circulate more than 1 million items in a year, but we won't. This is because it's new, and a lot of people were waiting to come here because we'd been closed for 2 months.
In comparison to other libraries in communities our size, is that a larger quantity than most libraries?
Yes,
or-
it is. Mount Lebanon ranks in the top 4% in the state in total circulation, and per capita circulation is approximately the same. And that's including large library systems like Free Library of Philadelphia or Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. So Mount Lebanon, which is a community of about 33,000 people, really supports this library. They really use it. It's amazing that we're in the top 4% in the state.
Cynthia, I want to thank you for hosting this program, introducing the library to the residents. I feel like I played an integral part to make sure this happened when I was a commissioner in Mount Lebanon, and I am excited and proud of what I see, and it was well worth all the turmoil we all went through over construction costs. So
That's right. Well,
thank
I'm
you.
glad. Thank you very much. It's wonderful
Right.
to see the result of so much community effort. I'm very pleased that you could be here.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Sure.